This thing cut off when I was trying to talk about it, but I wanted to keep on the same train as far as just the train of talking about the part where, well, people want to bring you down, and it's like, well, that's the competition. With the sociopath, it's like a big, of course, somehow, because you're either in or out of a clique. When it comes to narcissism, see, they can be also sociopaths, which are a little bit more equipped with an ability to see into people and um, manage to start to do things in such a way that it in effect, it disturbs and starts to ruin the other person's life, the delicacy of their life is, and it's worse than just a situation where there's a little bit where we just don't get along, and but on a day-to-day basis we kind of just tolerate. No, it's worse than that. Um, you show a little bit of vulnerability and even for sure like a need, and they attack it, and they you can sense. I'm sorry, going on and on about this, but some of the population um, who are in this very dangerous state of competition around them. They think that this is part of their programming that says I am successful, is that whatever is not like them, like successful, like money wise, say whatever is homeless, doesn't have a job, didn't have the head start, maybe it's just a whole other spectrum. Um, they can care less about that, right? They're like an exterminator. If it was an energy, they don't give much to it. They don't know that they don't give that side much hope as far as if there's hope for humanity or sanity in the presence of whatever's there tooling about. It's a desert like ecology to expect to draw off of. And it's there, it's not anybody's fault. That's just what is going on. See, the people that are homeless, I'm talking about the so called downtrodden, you can know some of those people, get to know some of them, and they're the most golden hearts. A lot of them, you should know that the system has created, and they are just being frank and sitting on their ass saying, you know what, I cannot manage this rent that they're trying to charge me to have this life with this and this and this, and it's near impossible because I have how many kids, the horrible thing, especially in California, and how do we fix it? We see, like, people want their privacy. People don't want to be around a lot of racket and all the confusion of people, people, people. And it's like, what are we going to do? Who's going to show mercy and give land to people and start opening up huts and just offering shelter and hoping that somebody will set an example as to how to live here on the planet and also how to live with each other? Yep. Um, Knowing our differences, knowing that, first of all, that there is a difference that we had to get away from, and that's what that community is all about. I mean, it's right, it's growing its own food, perhaps, it's really trying. There's something that has overlaid this planet that is just about ready to snuff out all the possibility for everybody. Especially, I want to talk to you about, not only just my generation, but yeah, no, this my generation is experiencing. See, I say that the Plutonian generation, the people roughly born during the 70s, is the strongest generation yet to have entered here, because what's going to be happening over the next 40 years with Pluto in Aquarius, the Libra generation, is going to start to rise up and shine. Boy, if you know the true chivalry and strength of the Libra, which is un, it's un, um, it's the symbol of justice. It's unstoppable. It's like you either know love and you have surrendered to God or you don't. So you're not going to win or you are going to win based on which side are you can you see as fit to be fighting for, if there is a fight at all. You know, when we talk about the Aries, that's not a fighter, that's just a warrior, and neither is any of the divinity that we know as the human spirit that stands up for itself and says, "Excuse me," and it will start holding hands with people that resonate and says, "No, um, this is easy. Will you let us take care of ourselves here? You keep poisoning the water. What if we come up with a way to stop that on a massive scale, just in one neighborhood? If people are coming together like that and they shut out the water company and they somehow do it with another source, it's going to be controversy across the board. They shut down a lot of people. They're starting to shut down farmers right now. They shut down millions upon millions of small farmers in just the past year in the United States alone, and over in Oregon. If you're listening to this now, it just last week they shut down many thousands of hundreds of thousands because they're passing laws, just tossing a book at them, just made it up out of thin air. Really, what they want is to disable. And we suspect, I don't want to scare you guys, but there's before things get better into a way that we finally learn how to take care of ourselves, goes into emergency, it goes into holy war, and you don't want to know that it might take a whole 40 years to clear a lot of stuff up. What is it? What is it? What can't just wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm going to do the opposite of holding on to this fucking wreck of a mess that I happen to think that is illusory? Can't I just get pulled away? Just pull yourself away from the big picture. Do you ever think about it? Like, you mean I'm going to die? No matter what, I'm going to fucking pass away. And then what? Think of that. A lot of this is temporary. Now, what are you doing here? What is it worth? Have you done anything for yourself that says, you know what, I'm feeling better about this than any of the alternative that has been presented to me, which is the obvious? But when I turned away from that obvious and when I just ignored what everybody was saying and I went on this gut feeling, I'm turning out actually feeling good. Has anybody ever achieved any of that? If so, you've been outcasting yourself. You've been pulling off something that not everybody can appreciate, because where are you? Why aren't you celebrating all the stuff that we do? Keep up. Why don't you keep up with our Jones? And it's like, you have to deal with not being of this world, that's for sure. Not your circus, not your clowns, but hey, some people, right? They'll stand there as an example, living their lives. And I think maybe this is the same video, or I'm trying to tag it onto the same video. In the beginning, I was trying to tell you, kids are the only ones that seem to appreciate it because they're not so prejudiced and they're still looking for a way, and it feels good when they see somebody truly living their life, and it's working for them, that they're becoming fulfilled and having a profound effect on others that is genuinely inspiring and makes a difference, instead of living in the shadows and watching the real run, somebody having a fucking cakewalk over there. Something different, more elevating happens. At the very least, you're serving organic foods there, and here's your carrot, sesame, garbanzo bean, and tomato treat, because you got the number at the cakewalk. Fuck your candy. Fuck your foggy mind. Fuck your laziness. Undisciplined. Discipline comes, and it shows as far as spiritual discipline and your sovereignty with your body and even your mind, starts at the mouth. What you put into it, what comes out of it. Have a beautiful day. We're talking about eating, and that's really tough. I'm excited about. So you have to really focus. If you're eating a lot of wheat, you can hardly focus. It's like, well, what are you gonna? How? What do you need at the store next time? Should have found a main staple. You know, I've been stocking up on the crap. The wheat and the white rice and stuff because I'm pretty sure we're heading towards something that's going to be like, oh God. It doesn't have to be that way, but they'll create it to be that way, and then they'll see how resilient we are. To end this, which is a tag on to the other video, it's part 2. Um, I'm finding myself being resilient about the weather. The season that it is. It's like now it's not quite time to get out there and tool it out because it's kind of cold. What you do is it doesn't feel like a go. When Venus goes into Aries in 4 days on April 4th, it's going to definitely be a go. Not really though, not with Mars heading into a conjunction with Saturn because Mars is the ruler of Venus when it's in Aries and the Sun that's going to be having this new moon eclipse and Mercury and Chiron. So Mars is like not only in Pisces, which is like this, it's a very steamy, it's a good time, a magical time. I'll say, but do you know that we have Saturn in Pisces too, which actually takes away from all of that magical time? It's actually like it sucks the possibility. A lot of people with Saturn in Pisces, you'll see that they have a deficit. I guess you would call it spiritually. They feel very victimized. Something did disenfranchise them. Now there's a question about that God, and they don't appreciate the fantasy world that perhaps it doesn't have anything on their life, which is a nightmare. In the beginning, it's a story of abuse, victim, 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 and that's what it's kind of in the air with the Saturn and Pisces thing. Everybody being really, especially the people that are having their Saturn returns, which is around about 29 years old or 30, 31. That's the span that's going to be, and it's hitting all the degrees, or 59, 60, 61, 62, right about there is those people there. It's watch out for them. They're going through something that, watch out, they can drag you into their deficit of the responsibility it really takes spiritually here. They don't have that responsibility, right? They could be already messed up with addictions this way and that way and dealing with diseases there. Whether they take care of that or not depends on how much they embrace um, on an inner level instead of blaming everybody on the outside. Thank you for listening to that. I actually have the capacity to love. It's just a really tough situation that the monetary system and whatever is going on here. I'm beginning to think it's really nobody's business. But the individuals, and if you ever get a clue, like a solution, or if you've found something and you're adamant about it, of course you're going to try and leave a message, and then you won't be appreciated, but hey, that's what you're supposed to do. Somebody's inspired. Maybe. You are.